Okay, so I'm making this video to explain a little error that was made on the T4 FMC19SW. A little miscommunication between the Tritanians and myself. That error has to do with these dates right here that are on this odd ring. These dates right here were thought to be the correct ones for this North Spring Equinox alignment there. And then of course there's these dates here for the Northern Hemisphere fall equinox. So in a moment I'll show you the correct dates. I just wanted to point out that error does not affect anything on any of the cycle Y seasons on here, as they all follow only on the odd ring right here. And the correct spring and fall equinoxes all move on the even ring, listed right here. The black ones are in the Tritanian dates, and the green ones are Earth dates with the star cycle numbers here, if you want to check on any of those. Not that anybody probably cares much, and I don't really care whether they care or not, because I'm actually making all this for documentation reasons at this point, so that it's just knowing that I knew these things on these dates. So here are the Northern Spring dates right here. They're moving on the even ring as well. They're on segment 30, and they're listed right here. So there's that. Here's this ring in its entirety right here. And the title on this paper right here, we have it as the Trizon 3 Solar Eclipse and Fall Equinox Alignment at a 90-degree angle to the Trion Galactic Plane. Where it says the Trizon 3, that goes for Trizon, the planet of Trizon 3, Tricon 3, and Triton 3, all three planets within the Triton Triangle. So they're all the same, they all follow the same pattern, and they actually all do the same thing at exactly the same time, even though they're in vastly different parts of the galaxy. So think what you want of that. There's another something here where the galactic plane is quite obviously horizontally right here. I want to point this out because we're still having just some design issues with some of our stuff. There's so many different things. Some things change in their design. So you can see right here where this has this north summer right here line going straight across. That's because we are making a little bit of a change in here, because this will be back up here. This right here is the galactic plane, right straight across here. So you've got the winter and the summer solstices happening right there. And then of course there's the fall equinox and the spring equinox, all at 90-degree angles from each other, of course. So brings me back to this, because this is the same way you're looking at here. You see right here where it says summer solstice, the galactic plane, winter solstice. Okay, so Move these out of the way. As you can see right here, this is not looking the same on here, because there's the North Summer and North Summer there. This one's running down that way, this one's running straight across there. This one's in red, that one's in green. There's a couple of things to explain about that when somebody, in the future, when somebody actually starts watching these videos, of why these things are this way. When we first designed this paper, we wanted to put in this sun and moon right in here. Well, if you run it right here, you can't do that unless you make the image a lot smaller. This image right here, which shortens all this up and makes all this smaller, unless they make a much bigger paper, which would then end up being 4 feet wide. So we didn't do that. We ran them over here to give us the room in order to put this right here. So that's what the difference is, of why this one is turned down there like that, so we could put this image in here. This, why this right here is in red, is because this has to do with, this is the northern summer solstice, which, you know, red represents the hot, blue winter and the cold. The greens are midpoints between the hot and the cold. So going back to this is because this right here, this whole system right here is actually mostly being, this right here is representing this system in here, which is the cycle white ball. Goes back to, again, being the green, which would be, you know, the mid color, midpoint between the red and the blue. So I'm just explaining all this stuff for somebody watching in the future, or why any of this stuff is this way when we figure out some of the design issues on this stuff and come up with a permanent one way of designing these things, and that's what we'll do. But we're not there yet. We don't really spend not as much time on design stuff with these, even though there is a lot of time spent on design of these papers. But so, oh, there's something else I was going to say. I can't think of what that was right now. Oh yeah, there's more. Let's show here. Oh yeah, this right here. This also does not affect anything with these geomagnetic excursion times on here, as they also all have to do with this odd ring right here. The odd ring doesn't have anything to do with the even ring and the equinoxes. It has only to do with the summer and winter solstices on this line right here. So this, all this time right here, everything here is unaffected on the geomagnetic excursion events. They go around on this line. It's explained in another video. So that's all completely unaffected by that. So that's all still totally correct. And then there's this one. Yeah, this one has the geometric excursion events on it also as well. But again, here you can see there's just a single ring on the for the north summer and north winter solstices. Again, the geomagnetic excursions. But right here, all of these cycles within the Crichton cycles, which are, again, these are you know, hot, warm, cold, warm cycles, just as we have on Earth right here. So these right here are long cycles, very long cycles, as you can see. These are in years, right in here. So all of these cycles within the Crichton cycles, all through here, are also unaffected by the change or the correction in the equinox dates, again, as they all follow only off of this summer line right here. So this is really quite an incredible paper, and I did a really good explanation of what this is right here, and it's really astonishing that people don't grab onto what this is, because there's not even a skip or a miss in anything on this entire paper with any of these numbers that's incorrect. Everything having to do with these geomagnetic excursions, everything having to do with these glacial periods right here, every single speck of this thing right here is absolutely correct. And in time, people are going to understand that. So I think that's it. It's something I've been wanting to cover for a while. This is not new. I already knew this back quite a while ago, actually, probably a couple months ago. Maybe 6 weeks, I don't know. It's been a while since I've made a video. Also, something else I wanted to point out was just real quick, was this little thing right in here that I just didn't have time to go find out what this deal was, why these things were coming up on these really odd dates off of the calculator.net on here for the time duration on here on these. Anyway, it has to do with the 1582 calendar date change. It has to do with that, but it has to do with I'm pretty sure it's the Julian calendar that just was not correct, where it was getting off by 1 day every century or so. So anyway, it has to do with that on there. I just didn't look at what was happening right there. So when I went to go find out what the heck was going on with that, that's where it's coming from. And that's what that's about. So I wanted to point that out too, that I've been aware of that also for quite some time, a month, 2 months, something like that. So anyway, I'm done.